Stampers, welcome to Video Tuesday. And so for our Gratitude Tuesday card, which I usually do a thank you card, I am doing a birthday card for somebody I'm grateful for. Today is my husband's birthday. And so today we are making a birthday card, and it's a fun fold. So it's a super cute card and it's easy, but there are some scoring lines that you'll need to do. So get your paper trimmer out. And also we have a lot of little pieces of cardstock. When I say a lot, I think I have 6 little pieces of cardstock that you'll need to cut. So get your paper trimmer out. The first thing you'll need to do is cut a piece of cardstock. And this is, I'm using Soft Succulent. This is a retiring in color. It's going to be gone at the end of the month. And you know, while supplies last, but it is retiring. And so this is Soft Succulent, and I have cut it 11 by 5.5. So you will use the extra piece that you cut off, but it is going to need to be a little bigger than normal. So when we usually get two cards out of a piece, we're just going to get 1 card out of this piece. So, but it's worth it because it's a cute card. So I'm going to be using a couple of in colors that are retiring and a couple of other colors that are not retiring. One is an in color that's going to be around for another year, and the other one is Night of Navy. And I'm going to be using some designer series paper from the annual catalog called Lovely in Linen. And even though you might not think that's masculine, it does turn out to be a masculine designer series paper. So let's get started making this card. I'm going to be using 3 stamp sets today on my card, and I hope that's in screen. Can you see those? There you go. I want you to be able to see those pads because I'm going to be using all 4 of these pads today. Okay, so first of all, we need to do some scoring. Okay, my dear husband is mowing the grass on his birthday. I know, it's silly, but that's him. He loves good looking yard. And so I think we have like one of the best looking yards in the neighborhood. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to score our cardstock to make this accordion card. And so we're going to make, we're actually going to make 4 scores. Okay, so your first one is going to be at 3/4 of an inch. That's a tiny one, right? So on your paper trimmer, I love this paper trimmer because it can go either side. It can go this side of the, okay, there's the trimmer. It can go this side of the cutting blade or this side. So I'm going to, the first one is so much easier to do it this way. So I'm going to do 3/4. So your first score is at 3/4. So use your gray blade, not your cutting blade. Okay, since this is cardstock, you can give it a little bit of a push. Okay, and then the next one's going to be at 1.5. Okay, so your next score is going to be 1.5. Your next one's going to be at 3.5. Your next one's going to be 5.5. Did I say 4 scores? Actually, 5 scores. And then the next one's going to be at 8.25. So you need to put your extended arm out and do 8.25. Okay, so we have those score lines. Do you want me to say them again? The first one is at 3/4 of an inch. The second one is at 1.5, and then we have 3.5, 5.5, and 8.25. Okay, now we're going to use our bone folder and we're going to fold them on those score lines. So we're going to make an accordion. So the first one, it goes down and then up. I saw a card kind of, well, that's not perfectly straight, Trevis. Oh, well. And then, but I was like, I'm not sure of all the measurements. So I kind of worked with it and I came up with it. So I don't know if you'll see this anywhere else. You might see a similar card. And then the last one is here. Okay, so when you get done, you're going to have this little, that. Okay, I made a card similar to this when I used the owls, but it had a different pop-up, I think, piece in it. And this is, this has pieces that layer into these folds. Okay, so there is the base of the card. Okay, now I did mention that you are going to need some other pieces cut. Okay, so the first piece that you cut off of your cardstock, right, when you cut this off, there was a 3-inch piece left. Okay, so your first piece is this piece. So this piece is 3. Okay, so this is the piece that cut off, and it needs to be 4 1/4. So 3 by 4 1/4. Okay, and then you need another piece that's 3 and 2 3/4. Okay, so you're just going to have a little bit left over. 3 by 4 1/4 and 3 by 2 3/4. All right, so those are 2 pieces. Then you're going to need 2 pieces to layer inside of those. And now you're going to layer 2 3/4 by 4. Now I'm just using white. You could use vanilla. You could use any kind of lighter cardstock if you want it, because we're going to do some stamping on this. So this is going to layer inside of here nicely. Okay, and then this piece is 2 3/4 by 2 1/2. So it's going to layer nicely inside of there. All right, so that's what we're going to stamp on this. I just wanted those measurements on there for you. Okay, and then I needed some designer series paper to fit onto these nice flat pieces. And I went with Lovely in Linen. And the first piece I picked was this. Okay, on this side it's this. So this is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. Okay, and that's going to layer on here. And then the other piece I chose was this one. Very masculine, I thought. Not so much on this side, but 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And that's going to layer on there. Okay, so that's it. Those are the pieces that you need for our card. Oh, I should mention, you do need a little tiny piece for the front. And this is what I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday on. And that's going to go right here. So this is 1/2 by 5 1/4. Okay. All right. So let's start adhering our card together. Okay. So I'm going to use my adhesive. And you can use liquid glue if you want. I can take these off, I guess. They're going to get hidden, so it doesn't matter. But okay. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this on here. On the smaller piece. So this is the 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so this is going to be the back of these. So when it's laying like this, the card, okay, it's going to be like that. So when it's in the envelope, it's going to be like this. And then as soon as you take it out of the envelope, it's going to pop open. All right, now let's do some stamping. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to use 3 different stamp sets because I had to find a Happy Birthday that I liked, and I chose Artistically Inked because I like this Happy Birthday. I thought it looked masculine, but it's not too tiny. It's big. It's perfect. So let's go ahead and stamp that, the Happy Birthday. And I'm going to put that on my block. I love the red cling sets. They stamp so nicely. I'm going to stamp this in Night of Navy. Okay, so tap gently. Don't need to sink all that edge into the ink pad. Do it nice and gently. Okay, and then if you want, you can test it to make sure that it's on your grid paper. You can actually test it to make sure that it's nice and straight. It is. So we're going to re-ink that. And now we're going to stamp it onto this white piece. Okay, I like it. Okay, stamp off the ink before you take it to your scrub or your chamois. Get all that ink off. No need to take that to your chamois. Okay. Now I'm going to be using these other colors. How did I choose these colors? Actually, how did I choose these colors? I looked at the Lovely in Linen designer series paper, and these colors were all in that paper. So I'm like, well, let's just pull out these pads and see how it goes. So this one's the kind of sweet red that I think we're going to need to bring some beautiful color into the card. Okay, so I have my Happy Birthday ready. I might stamp a little something on there. I'm not sure. Okay, so the other stamp set I'm going to use is He's All That. Okay, this is a very masculine set, obviously. And there's a couple stamps on here I really like. To the man who does everything. Hello, that is my husband. He does everything. He takes care of everything around the house. He is still working. He's just a fantastic person. So I love that stamp. I also like this Happy Birthday to a Classic. So I'm like, yeah, he actually has a classic car, and it doesn't look like that. It's a little more sporty, but I really like that stamp. Love this guy. So cute. It's not Father's Day, so we're not going to use that. But hello, handsome. He's very handsome. So all of these apply to him, but I think I'm really going with these two. So those are my two stamps that I'm going to mount onto my block. Okay, so I'm going to do this one first, and then this one to a classic. Okay, now I don't know if you're like me. Do you feel like you need to, look how dirty that block is. Wow. Time to clean your blocks, Trevis. And I will. I use, and how do I clean mine? I use Goo Gone. So I just lay all my blocks out, spritz them with a little bit of Goo Gone, spritz the back with a little bit of Goo Gone. Now that makes them kind of greasy. So then I'll take my Stampin' Mist and I'll go back over them and clean them. If they don't have a lot of glue on them, sometimes I'll just put them in the dishwasher on the top rack, but I'm looking at these and they definitely need some extra scrubbing. So I'm probably going to scrub these. Anyway, are you like me where you feel like you need to line up your stamp on the block? Because it really doesn't matter, right? You can put this on here crooked like that, and then you can still stamp it straight. Why do we think we have to line them up straight? I don't know. Anyway, let's do that. Okay, so I want to make sure that I stamp this going the right way, right? Because this wouldn't work. So I want to make sure I stamp it this way and this way. All right. So the first thing I want to do is decide which stamp I want on which piece of cardstock. And I think I'm going to go with Happy Birthday to a Classic. I think because this would fit on here. Pretty cute, actually. And then, I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go with this and that. Okay, so I'm going to open my pads. Oops, there we go. And I don't even slide my pads, right? I just keep them open. Don't worry about all that. Unless I really need to do the pad up, onto the cardstock and do direct to paper or something, I don't really close the pads. Does that make sense? Sometimes I just want to use the ink that's on there. So anyway. Okay, so what color do I want to do? I think I'm going to do, on this one, I think I'm going to stamp Night of Navy. Make sure I get that car fully inked up. Okay, I'm going to stamp that right in the center. Ooh, look how cute that is. I love it. Okay, and the other one I'm going to stamp in Sweet Sorbet. And I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to stamp this a little higher because I'll show you why. Gosh, I love these stamps. Love them. Okay, the reason is because when you put this into here, this is going to kind of hide it. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, so now I am going to stamp a few little things from these stamp sets. And this one has a little tiny X. So cute. A little tiny X. So I'm going to put that on a little tiny block. Oops. There we go. And because it's so small, be careful when you ink it up. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is just put some little X's down the side. Yes. I'm gonna do some off. Try not to do them perfectly. Sometimes I'm so crazy. Feel like I need to have everything symmetrical and perfectly, but okay, so I have that. Looking cute. And then from this stamp set, I use the happy birthday, but I also like these little dots. Okay, so I'm going to use those little dots. Okay. Take this off. Put the little dots on. And now I'm going to stamp. Oh, Trevis. I got ink on there. Dang it. Oh, well, we're going to fix that. I'll show you how. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little dots. I'm going to do little dots all around. Okay, now I'm going to put some darker ones. And since that's light, that's soft succulent, now I'm going to evening evergreen. I don't need to clean it because I'm going light to dark. Doesn't look that much darker, but it is. So cute. Okay, and then on here, I think I'm going to go back and get that. Oh, so inked up. I think I'm going to go back and get that little dot. Looking for another block. Here we go. I'm going to go back and get that little X and put some more on these. Oh, yes. Okay, so it kind of pulls it all together, right? Just doing little bits on each page. Can't really tell that mistake. I think it's hidden. Do you think you'll care? I don't think so. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done. I am going to stamp something on the back of my card that I think is very cute, and I'm going to stamp it in Evening Evergreen. From the limited edition stamp set, a paper hug from me. That is so adorable. So I am going to stamp that on the back of my card. A paper hug from me. And I'm going to stamp that in Evening Evergreen on the back of my card. Right here. Yeah, that is just really, really cute. Okay, so now we're going to close our pads. Okay, let's start assembling our card. Okay, we kind of already did assemble part of the card, but okay, so now I have these. So now I'm just going to cover up those measurements. I'm going to put this one on here. This one on here. Happy birthday right here. Just like that. Okay, so now I have a question. Should I attach these? Or should I just leave them loose to where you can pull them off? I think I almost need to attach them. So you could stagger them if you wanted. It's totally up to you. You could stagger them, or you could leave them loose, or you could line them up. Are you a straight person, or do you like to have them staggered? I'm not happy about how crooked that is, but I think it's going to be fine once it's all put together. I think I'm going to attach them. Okay, so you don't want to put glue right up here, right? You just want it on this bottom part. And I'm going to try to eyeball and center them. Just like that. And then the same thing on this one. You don't want to put any adhesive up here. So you just want the adhesive on the bottom half. And if you want them lined up like I do, kind of start to close it like that and do that. So you don't have any, oh, I did get a little bit of glue, a little low. Scrape that glue off. So you don't want your card sticking to the back or the envelope. Okay, so there's our card today. And you can still sign the back. You can put, there's room back here. You can sign the back. You could put a little piece there if you wanted. Or you can just sign it on here. Okay, so there is our card today. I'm calling it an accordion card. Call it whatever you like, but I love it. Okay, there's our card today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on Friday. Thanks for watching. I know it's a little longer than normal. Oh, I also had these. Yes, I'm sorry. I am going to add a few of these because these are so masculine. These are the Brush Metallic Adhesive Back Gems dots. So they need to be on here because they look kind of like masculine. Okay, so I'm going to put some of these on here. 3. Oops. Yikes. Doesn't want to come loose. There we go. Okay, now it's finished. Oh, so cute. That did add something. Okay, thanks for watching today. I'll see you on Friday. Bye.